Okay. Good afternoon, dear students of grade 9, dear teachers, dear everyone watching us. Welcome to the first seminar this year for grade 9. At the beginning, allow me to introduce my colleagues in the studio. Miss Ula Al-Moui, English Language Supervisor, Tartus Directorate. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
And Miss Lamis Zainab, English Language Teacher, Tartus Directorate as well. And me, Abdul Majid Gorli, Senior Supervisor and Coordinator of English Language in the Ministry of Education. Welcome to this seminar, which is going to be about Unit 1. Work together to make it better. We have the unit plan. Ms. Ula Al-Moui is going to talk about the unit plan, please.
Okay, so in this unit, we're going to start as usual with the listening section, and it's about a boy talking about his experience with the scout group. In the speaking, we can talk about jobs, and with the reading, we have a text about a teacher and her different class. With the vocabulary, we're going to use keywords in different contexts, and the grammar is going to be about the present simple and present progressive. We're going to have some pronunciation with short and long A, and the writing, we're going to have ordering parts of a paragraph about volunteering.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we move to the listening part. As usual, every time we give a lesson, we say we start with the listening, then speaking, then reading, and finally writing. This is the normal way to introduce a lesson. This is in my opinion, and if you don't like it, it's up to you. We want the outcome to be good, and the way is yours. We have a photo of a scout. You can see it clearly on the screen now. And now I'm going to start the audio. We are going to listen to Adam talking about something, and you need to listen first to guess the general meaning, what he is speaking about, and then we're going to listen a second time to answer some questions. Well.
Hello, my name is Adam. I joined WATAD when I was 10. Now I am 14. I've spent 4 years as a scout and enjoyed it a lot. Our group usually meet once a week, on Friday from 2 to 4. Our uniform consists of navy blue shorts, a blue shirt, a yellow neckerchief, long socks and black shoes. But in our regular meetings, we only wear the neckerchief with casual outfit. We have different activities about child protection, women and community development. Nowadays we are learning sign language. I advise you all to join a scout group because I learned a lot from the scout camps and from all the activities I shared with my friends. That helped me improve my character and the way I serve my community and country, and I also gained the respect of others. Last week, we helped homeless people by giving them clothes and food, and we once supported the Down syndrome people who were working in a cafeteria.
Sorry. Well, the general meaning of what we listened to, it is about a boy in the scout. Sorry.
Volunteering, kind of volunteering work.
Yes. Now, we are going to listen a second time, and after we listen, we are going to do the exercises. Listen again. It didn't work, okay?
Hello, my name is Adam. I joined WATAD when I was 10. Now I am 14. I've spent 4 years as a scout and enjoyed it a lot. Our group usually meet once a week, on Friday from 2 to 4. Our uniform consists of navy blue shorts, a blue shirt, a yellow neckerchief, long socks and black shoes. But in our regular meetings, we only wear the neckerchief with casual outfit. We have different activities about child protection, women and community development. Nowadays we are learning sign language. I advise you all to join a scout group because I learned a lot from the scout camps and from all the activities I shared with my friends. That helped me improve my character and the way I serve my community and country, and I also gained the respect of others. Last week, we helped homeless people by giving them clothes and food, and we once supported the Down syndrome people who were working in a cafeteria.
Well, we listened a second time. Now to teachers. In exams, we usually make the students listen twice. But while teaching, it's no problem. If you think your students need to listen more than twice, it's okay. The result is what is important. Now, number one, Adam is a member in space scout group. Is it Sanad, Watad, or Side? Can you guess? Yes, it is Watad. Watad. Number two, Miss Saula, will you read it?
He joined the group when he was 10, 11, or 12. Well, he was 10 years old.
Yes, he was 10. Miss Lamis, number three.
Hello first. The neckerchief is blue, navy blue, or yellow. It was yellow.
Yes. And number four.
Number four, it's about Adam and his group members usually meet on Fridays, Saturdays, or Sundays. It's letter A, Fridays.
Let's check the answers. Watad, 10, yellow, and Friday. We move on. Now, we are going to decide if the following sentences are true or false. Number one, Miss
Okay, so
Ola.
this is the way they're going to have the text in the exam, but not listening. We're talking about reading, for example. It's either yes, no questions, true, false, or multiple choices.
Yes.
So number one, members in the scout group have to wear the uniform in all the meetings. No, this is false. They don't have to.
False. Miss Lamis.
Number two, nowadays they are learning sign language. True.
True.
And number three, some of their activities are about child protection, and this is true.
Number four, they helped all people last week. False.
False. So, teachers can put two ways to examine their students, either multiple choice questions or true or false. It's not possible to ask them to write full sentences while listening. It will take a lot of time, which is not suitable for listening. We go on. Reading. Read the text, then do the tasks below. We have a text about Mrs. Al-Hroob, who is a teacher.
A distinguished teacher, let's
A
say.
distinguished teacher, very good teacher. She has a method in teaching. We are going to read about Mrs. Al-Hroob, and then we are going to do the tasks. Miss Ula.
Okay. A different class. Hanan Al-Hroob was a poorly paid teacher in the West Bank. Then she won the 1 million Global Teacher Prize. The committee praised Mrs. Al-Hroob's play and learn method, which she still employs. Besides her clown outfit, Mrs. Al-Hroob uses balloons, hula hoops, toy cars, and puppets to explain her lessons. Her aim is to make the classroom a calm and fun place where children can forget about the struggle of daily life and open their minds. We play first, and when we play, we learn, she said. The kids don't even realize they are learning. In addition to the toys and balloons, which she pays for with her own money, she uses videos and even PowerPoint in the classroom. For the first month of a new school year, her 8-year-old pupils may not even see an exercise book. Parents often refuse the focus on play that soon changes, Mrs. Al-Hurub says, when they realize that her method improves behavior, especially in troubled kids, and academic results. She also sees it as her duty to build their characters. No to violence is a motto in her classes. Mrs. Al-Hurub plans to establish her own foundation and use some of her winnings to train other teachers to follow her approach. It is worth mentioning that Mrs. Al-Hurub's dream was to be a doctor, but failing to do so did not prevent her from being a special person who could make a difference.
Okay, we have Remy from Tartus on the phone. Good afternoon, Remy.
Hello, good afternoon.
Welcome. What is your question, please?
I want to ask about writing. How do you write it?
Writing.
How do you rate it?
Yes. We are going to explain it when it's time for writing. Is it okay, so that we don't interrupt the lesson? Please be with us till the end. Before the end, we have the section of writing, and we are going to talk about writing. Is that okay? Did we lose the line? Are you still with us, Remy?
Yes.
I say we are going to talk about writing when we reach the writing section. Do you have any other question?
No, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye. Now, I want to talk to the teachers. What we did now is, when you don't have the audio, the teacher can read aloud, but not the students. It's reading for comprehension, and it's better to make the students read without listening to it. But if you have an audio, it's no problem to listen. What we are doing now is making the students listen while reading. To make the students read aloud is not correct. It's reading for comprehension. But students can read the question and can read the answer. That's how they read aloud. We move on to the questions. We have multiple choice questions. Choose A, B, C, or D. Miss Ula, number 1, please.
Okay, Hanan Al-Hurub's teaching method was A. Read and write, B. Listen and speak, C. Talk and sing, and D. Play and learn. It's play and learn, letter D.
Letter D, play and learn. Yes, Miss Lamis,
Yeah,
number
here we
2.
go. She teaches in a or an elementary school, secondary school, high school, or university, for sure in elementary school.
Elementary
And
school.
elementary school.
Number 3.
Okay,
Miss
number
Ula.
3, Mrs. Al-Hurub first wanted to become a teacher, nurse, doctor, or manager. She wanted to become a doctor. It's letter C.
Yes. Let's check the answers. The answer to number 1 is play and learn, letter D. The answer to question number 2 is elementary school, letter A. And the answer to number 3 is C, a doctor. Now, we are going to decide if the following are true or false. Miss Hula.
Okay, again, this is the type of questions they can have in the exam. Multiple choices or true or false. Now, number 1, when the kids play and learn, they don't even realize they are learning, and this is correct.
Correct.
They don't.
True.
They learn by playing.
Number
2.
Miss Lamia.
The school pays for the toys and balloons she uses. False. She
False.
pays from her own
Yeah,
money.
She pays from her own money. Number 3.
Number 3, Mrs. Al-Hurub aims to establish her own hospital. No, she's a teacher, so she doesn't need a hospital. So this is false. She wants a
False.
foundation for training
Let's
teachers.
check the answers. Number 1 is true. 2 and 3 are false. We carry on. We move to vocabulary section. How to teach vocabulary. The best way is to teach vocabulary through context. First, we read the lesson. Students can elicit. Elicit means guess the meaning of the word from the context. If you teach vocabulary before reading, it will take much time and maybe not a good idea. But when they see the new vocabulary in the context, students will be able to elicit the meaning from the sentence, from the word before and the word after. After we read the text, now we can guess the meaning of the words by filling in the spaces. Number one.
Okay, so before, excuse me, they always ask about the keywords. They don't have to memorize. We need to keep telling them that they don't have to memorize. They just need to understand what they're reading, and that's it. So
this is what we say acquiring the language. Memorizing does not teach the language. Students need to acquire the language through context. Yes.
by understanding. So number one, the teacher began to the students for their excellent work. So A, realize, B, struggle, C, employ, and D, praise. The teacher began to praise the students for their excellent work.
Praise. Letter D. Number two, Miss Lamis.
Number two, an act of caused the window to be broken. Is it A, outfit, B, method, C, violence, or D, duty? It's an act of violence
Yes.
that caused the window to be broken.
C.
C, the artist had a hammer to open his paint cans. A, pay, B, win, C, explain, and D, employ. The artist had to employ. Letter D.
Employ. Letter D.
Yeah.
Number four, Miss Lamis.
She was wearing a splendid. Is it behavior, outfit, committee, or minds? It was a splendid outfit.
Outfit. Letter B.
And
Number
number
five.
5, his against cancer lasted for 2 years. A, struggle, B, aim, C, puppets, and D, difference. His struggle against
Struggle.
cancer.
Struggle like fighting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fighting
And it
against
can be a verb
cancer.
and a noun.
Cancer is a kind of disease, and his struggle against cancer lasted for 2 years. Let's check the answers. The answers are in red color. The answer to question number 1 is praise. Number 2, violence, letter C. And number 3, employ, letter D. Number 4, outfit, letter B. And number 5, struggle, letter A. We carry on. Workbook reading. Here we have, by working at
It's about a
Microsoft,
text about a man who wanted to apply for a job at
buy and
Microsoft.
selling tomatoes.
Yes. He wanted to apply for a job at Microsoft, but
As
they
a floor
refused.
cleaner.
Yes, but
Yeah.
they refused him because he didn't have an email address or a laptop or
It was
anything.
virtually unexistent.
So he
Well,
he
Miss
took a
Lamis
different
is
path.
going to read the
Yeah.
text.
From Microsoft to tomatoes. One day, an unemployed man went to apply for a job with Microsoft as a cleaner. The manager said, "Let me have your email address so that I can send you a form to complete and to tell you when you can start." The man said that he had no computer or email address. The manager, "Well then, that means that you virtually don't exist and therefore can be employed." The man looked at the last 10 sterling
Sterling,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
in his wallet and thought of buying tomatoes in bulk. Within less than 2 hours, he sold all the tomatoes at 100% profit. Repeating the process several times that day, he ended up with at almost 100
Pounds.
sterling before going to sleep that night. Getting up early every day and going to bed late, he multiplied his profits quickly. After a short time, he bought a cart to transport several dozen boxes of tomatoes. By the end of the second year, he became the owner of a fleet of trucks and the manager of a staff of 100 former unemployed people by selling tomatoes. Planning for the future of his wife and children, he decided to buy life insurance. An advisor asked him for his email address in order to send the final documents electronically. When the man replied that he has no email, the advisor felt astonished and said, "How did you make such wealth with the internet and in an email? Just imagine where you would be now if you had been connected to the internet from the very start." After a moment of thought, the tomato millionaire replied, "I would be a floor cleaner at Microsoft. Even with the lack of technology, with determination and the required skills, one can make a difference."
Yes. Thank you,
You're
Miss Lemis. Actually, it's a funny story. It doesn't mean that you need to keep away from technology, but
It's
it
not
is
the
funny.
only way.
Yeah, it is funny. You can make a living, you can be successful in any way, just the will.
So when there is a will, there is a way.
Yes, when there is a will, there is a way. If you noticed, I said tomato and Miss Lemis said tomato. Tomato is British and tomato is American. This is the difference. We have words in bold. You need to guess their meanings. In bulk, for example, as a whole. Profit is the benefit you get. Multiplied, make larger. Cart is kind of carrot.
Vehicle.
Yeah, vehicle. Fleet is a word used for talking
Group of
about
ship
a group
or-
of ships
Yeah.
or cars
Or
or
trucks.
cars or trucks. Former, before.
Before.
Yeah.
Now we move to choose the correct word between brackets. Number one, Miss Ula Al-Muay.
Okay. The man applied for a job as a manager, plumber, cleaner, or teacher. He applied for a job as a cleaner at Microsoft.
Cleaner,
Letter C.
Microsoft. Was he accepted?
No, he wasn't, because he
No,
didn't have
he
an
didn't have
email
an
address
email address.
or even a laptop or anything.
And it's worth mentioning that a cleaner is a janitor in the American accent,
Yeah,
American language.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Number two, Miss.
Number two, the man couldn't be employed at Microsoft because he A. has no email address, B. has a computer, C. hasn't applied for a job, and D. already has a job. It's A. has no email address.
Yes. Letter C, sorry, number three.
Number three, the man bought a cart in order to A. transport the tomatoes, B. create an email, C. to apply for a job. Here we have two tools. And D. work for Microsoft. Well, he bought a cart in order to transport the tomatoes.
Transport the tomatoes. Here are the answers. Number one, cleaner, letter C. Number two, has no email address, letter A. And number three, transport the tomatoes, letter B. Now, choose the correct word between brackets.
No, it's
No,
a
it's,
mistake. It's true or false.
True or false, sorry. It should have been true or false. Number four, Ms. Sola.
Number four, he became the owner of a fleet of trucks after 2 months. No, this is false. It took him 2 years.
Yeah.
Yes. And number
Five, the advisor asked him for his email address to send the documents electronically. True.
Yes, true.
I always come across the true ones.
Number six.
Okay, number six, with the lack of technology, we can never make a difference. No, we can make a difference. So this is false.
False. False, true, false. We carry on. Again, vocabulary.
After every text, we have vocabulary.
Yes.
So
Yeah, sure.
We need, as teachers, to make sure that our students know the meaning of everything in the text. Actually, I want just to advise the teachers about something. Your students are not going to be able to understand every
The whole
word
text.
you say,
Yeah.
but they need to understand every word in the text, in the lesson. So the objectives of your lesson is to make sure that students will be able to understand everything in the text and will be able to answer the questions. you can ask them before the end of a lesson to prepare for the following lesson, to check up the meaning of new words for the coming lesson. It's one way. Or peers can help each other to give the meaning of the new words, or you can make them elicit the meaning from the context. It's up to you. And for the reading part, you don't need to make the students read the whole part of the lesson. You can divide the lesson into 3 parts, and you can ask the students to be divided into 3 groups. Each group can read just one part of the 3 parts of the lesson, and the first group can answer the questions to the first part, second group can answer the questions to the second part, and the third group can answer the questions to the third part. And by this, all students listen to the questions and answers of the whole text, and they don't need to waste time reading the whole text. So you can save time by this. This is a way of teaching. It is a method
Reading.
because you don't have time to make all the students read everything. If students want to read everything, they can do it at home after they had understood everything in the text.
Yeah.
Now, number 1. Miss
Number
Sauda,
1, she had a problem in the bank, so she asked to meet the...
we have a call.
Okay,
Sorry.
no
Haidara
problem.
from Tartus again. Hello, good afternoon, Haidara.
I'd like to ask about how do we deal with pronunciation in the exam?
How you can deal with pronunciation in the exam. Good.
Yes.
It's very easy. You are going to be asked to choose which word, for example, does not belong to the other 3 words. You are going to have 4 words, 3 similar and 1 different. And you are going to choose the different one. This is a way. Or you may have, for example, which word is pronounced as final T or id or D, and you can choose. If you know how to pronounce them, if you learned how to pronounce them during the academic year, it's very easy to answer the pronunciation question in the exam. Anything to add?
No.
No, that's
Okay.
Is it
you said
clear?
everything.
Yes, it's clear, but I have another question.
Welcome. What is your
Go for
other
it.
question? Go on.
What about the listening exercises? Do we have to memorize their new words?
No, you don't need to memorize them actually for the
he
final.
said the new words.
New words or the.
The new words.
Do you say the new words? Haidara, are you still with us?
Yes.
Do you mean to memorize the meaning of new words?
Yes, the meaning of new words in the listening exercise.
You need to understand everything because you need to acquire the language, but in
Yeah.
the final exam we don't have listening tests, only reading and writing.
Okay.
But you need to know the meaning of all words in your book, listening, speaking, reading and writing,
Cover to
so
cover.
that you can make progress, you can be better. But in the exam you don't have listening test, if
Okay.
this is your question.
Yes,
Any
okay,
other
thank
question, Haidara?
you. No, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Our best regards to you and to Tartus as well. Welcome. Well,
Okay, back
Number
to
one.
number 1. She had a problem in the bank, so she asked to meet the A, manage, B, managed, C, manager, and D, managing. So she asked to meet a person. The person is the manager, letter C.
letter C. Number 2.
Number 2. He has no money. He has been. Employee, employer, unemployed, unemployment, 4 months. So it's C, unemployed. The verb.
Unemployed for months, alas.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Okay, number 3, life doesn't on Mars. Well, none of the answers are there. are correct. A, it exists with S. I believe it should be exist without S.
Yes.
B, existence. C, existent. And D, existed. So it's letter A, but without
Without S.
S. Life doesn't exist.
Because after doesn't, we use zero form. By mistake, we have S. It should be letter A, but without S.
It's a typo. Number 4. Didn't pay.
Let me just correct it
Yeah, sure.
without S. And this is Control S. Sorry for the mistake. We continue.
Yeah. Number 4. I was when my 9 months month also as well without S. My 9-month brother could walk, also with the S since it's an adjective.
Mhm.
I was astonished, astonishing, astonished, or astonishment. It's C. I was astonished.
Thank you very
was
much for
surprised.
correcting it.
Yeah.
Maybe we
typo.
prepared the file,
Yeah,
the
the
file in a
predicting
hurry.
test.
There is another
Text,
mistake,
yeah.
so that you noticed 9-month
No need
brother.
for S.
It
Yeah.
is an adjective. We
adjective.
don't need an S. Thank you. We move on. Here are the answers: manager, unemployed, exist, and
I recommend
astonished.
we can just fix it right away. Can we?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Grammar.
Yeah.
Revision of present simple and present progressive. Progressive, actually, in some grammar books, it is
Continuous.
continuous,
It's
the same, progressive or continuous. Miss Saula,
Okay, so we're going to start with the present simple and the form of the present simple. The present simple tense with he, she, it, its singular subject, we use S. With the verb. We add S, ES or IES based on the verb. For example, he eats an ice cream, so eats we just add S. With verbs like that end with SH, CH, S, etc., we add ES, like she washes the dishes. With the bird flies, fly ends with Y, so we change the Y into
And proceed it
IES.
with a
So,
consonant.
yes, the bird flies in the sky.
good. Miss Lamis, will you continue?
Yeah, sure. We use the present simple to talk about general facts. Example, no, I skipped one, right?
Yeah, they catch
sorry,
up
sorry,
the fish.
Yeah. Present, no, I just skipped one. Yeah. Present simple with they, we, I. We use the plural subject. It means here we don't change the verb and we don't add S.
We don't add this.
They catch the fish. You buy a t-shirt. You write a story, and the students study English.
So the zero form
The
without
zero
S,
form,
it will
yeah,
call it
or
verb
the verb one without
Actually,
S.
the difference between verb 1 and verb 0 is that verb 1 can take S,
S,
but
yeah.
verb 0 doesn't take anything. Here it's verb 1, but it is similar to verb 0 because it is
Doesn't have
you,
S.
they,
Doesn't.
and we. We don't change the verb. Present simple tense.
Now about the use. We use present simple when we have
Before the use,
Yes,
we
please.
have general facts. It rarely rains in desert.
So we use the present simple with general facts.
Yes. Continue, please.
It rarely rains in the desert. This is a fact.
Mhm.
You play chess with 32 pieces. Well, this is the rule of the game, so it's a fact.
And yes, then when
A general fact.
Yes. We use the present simple again with the present habits, like the birds return to the island every morning. This is a habit of the birds.
Questions, Miss
Yeah.
Lamis?
For the questions, we add the auxiliary verb with the zero form or the base form of the verb. When we have he, she, it, we add does. For the rest, we add do.
Do.
Example, does he travel every year? Does he travel every year? So we see that travel is without S, it's in the base form. Do you often visit your relatives? Do you often visit your relatives? In the negative form, we add not to the auxiliary verb. They don't usually go out in the evening, and she doesn't always drink tea. And as we see, when we have the verb after don't or doesn't, we have it in the base form of the verb or the zero form.
Yeah, thank you. Notice that does he can be
Does.
contracted to be does he. Does he means does he. And doesn't, the stress is on the D, not on the N.
Yeah.
So it should be doesn't. Doesn't. We move on.
Can we skip to the next one?
As you like.
Okay, because to start with the use first, then we can move on to the, we start with the form.
Oh,
Then we
okay.
can move on to the use. So how do we form the present progress? If we use the subject, verb to be is are, of course, and the verb with ing. Like example, Josepha is studying English, you are singing a song, and they are dancing salsa right now. Now we can go back to that.
Actions happening now.
Yeah.
We use it with actions
for sure.
happening now.
To talk about actions that are happening right now or ongoing events. Example, she is reading a newspaper upstairs now. I am busy. I am doing my homework at the moment.
These are keywords now.
That's it. For
at the
temporary
moment.
habits, like something will last for a short time, but it's not permanent. He's eating a lot these days. Maybe he's taking some kind of medication. That's why he's eating a lot. And future plans and personal arrangements. We are visiting our cousins next week. It means we won't be hesitant about this. And it's not a plan. It's like more than arrangement. We're sure about it.
Let me just explain difference
Yeah.
between the future going to and the present continuous for arrangement. If you are going to get married next month, but you don't know the bride yet, you say, I'm going to get married next month. But if you have the bride already, you talked, you agreed on everything, and you together arranged to have the wedding next month, in this way, you can say, I'm getting married next month.
So everything is fixed.
Yes,
Yeah.
arranged. Another example, you want to visit your aunt next week. You say, I'm going to visit my aunt next week. But if you phoned her and told her that you
Yeah.
were going to
For
visit
sure.
her next year, you can say, I'm visiting my aunt
Yeah.
next year.
Next
It's
week.
not obligatory. You
Yeah.
can still say, I'm going to visit, but you can, because you arranged with her, you can say, I'm visiting my aunt next.
And I think like with going to, we might change the plan later on. That's why when we are definitely sure about the action, we say we are doing or we are visiting or whatever. So it's an act of God if it doesn't happen.
Okay.
Otherwise, it will happen.
Thank you. Thank you so
I
much.
guess it will be tricky to have both answers in the exam.
No, they are not going to have
Yeah.
two correct answers in the exam. Feel relaxed. In the exam, you're going to have only one correct
Correct answer.
answer.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid. You are not going to have two correct answers to choose between them. Questions?
Now, with the questions, as long as we have auxiliary verb, we invert the auxiliary verb and the subject. So we start with the verb to be, like, are they having a good time? Or is it raining? With the negative, again, since we have an auxiliary verb, we just use not. So he is not studying geography, or they are not working nowadays.
Good. So simply, all tenses that have auxiliary verbs, you invert. Put the auxiliary verb before the subject. It is a question. They are becomes are they. It is becomes is it. The negative is you add not to verb to be, and you say he's not studying. Again, the stress when it is contracted is on the first syllable. We say he isn't. He isn't. Not he isn't. It's not he isn't. It's isn't. He isn't studying, and they aren't. Most of the time I hear people in the
Aren't.
Middle East say aren't. It's wrong.
Yeah.
It's aren't. Aren't working nowadays. We come to complete the sentences with the correct present simple form of the verbs. Number 1, Mrs. Al-Hrub.
This is Al-Hurub. Balloons, hula hoops, toy cars, and puppets. These are from the text, so they can just simply look at the text and choose the correct answer. In this one, we have uses.
Uses.
Balloons, hula hoops, toy
We
cars,
added
and puppets.
S to the verb use because Mrs. Al-Hrub is she, and she takes
Uses
S. So it is she uses. Mrs. Al-Hrub uses balloons, hula hoops, toy cars, and puppets. Number 2, Miss Lamis.
Parents often focus on play. For sure, they refuse, reject, don't agree. The focus on play, but it was in the first, in the beginning, and then they changed
Here,
their mind.
parents is a plural word,
Yeah.
so it doesn't take S.
Yeah.
Refuse. Number 3.
Okay, again, number 3, her methods, behavior. Her methods improve. We don't need S. Again, it can be replaced by
Because
they.
it's plural, yes. Improve behavior.
Yeah.
Number 4, Miss
We
Lamis.
first, and then we play. When we play, we learn. We play first, and when we play, we learn. So also with we don't add S to the verb.
Okay. We
Number
play
5.
first. Number 5.
The kids, even they are learning. This is negative. The kids don't even know they are learning.
Yes. So this is acquiring the language. They learn without knowing that they are learning. They are acquiring the language.
This
Right?
is the best way to learn.
The verbs in brackets using the present progressive as in the following.
It's a sample exam test.
Yes, Miss Saula.
Okay, number 1, she on the phone right now. A talks, B has talked, B is talking, or D talked. Since we have right now, it's present progressive, so we use letter C, there is a mistake. Letter C is talking. She is talking on the phone right now.
Yeah, be twice. Pardon us, please. Yes, number 2, Miss
I
Lamis.
in the library at the moment. Study, I'm studying, studied, or will study. We have at the moment. It means I am studying at the library, in the library at the moment. It's letter B.
Thank you. Miss Saula, number 3.
Number 3, it's good news to hear that John's health. A had improved, B improves, C improved, or D is improving. So it's letter D is improving.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Where are the children? There they are. They, tennis. Are playing, play, played, or were playing. For sure are playing because we're asking about the children right now.
Yes.
Where are they?
Okay, and number 5, they a new bridge nowadays. Again, we have nowadays. A built, B built, C are building, or D were building. Because we have nowadays, it's C are building.
Well, now we are going to select the correct form of the verbs between brackets. Every Monday, Sally. We have every Monday, so it's a
Yeah.
habit.
Present
So
simple.
it is drives. Sally drives her kids to football practice. Miss Ola, number 2, usually again.
Usually, I'm working or I work as secretary, but this summer I'm studying or study French at the language school. Usually, so it's work because it's a habitual action. So usually I work as secretary, but this month, this is a progressive. So I am studying French at the language school.
Yes. Number 3, Miss Lamis.
Number 3, be quiet. It's an order, so it's right now. John sleeps or is sleeping. John is sleeping.
Is sleeping.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Be quite like listen or look.
Yeah.
This take progressive. Number
Imperative.
4, don't forget to take your umbrella. This is not something a fact or habitual action. This is something happening now. So it is raining.
It is raining.
Yeah. Number 5, she is fit because she always is running or runs as an exercise. It's a habit. She runs and she is fit. This is a fact.
Yes. Now, put the verbs between brackets in the correct question form. Number 1.
Number 1, what under the table? So this is about two people talking, so it's a progressive. So what are you doing under the table? Is there anything wrong? because we have kind of conversation.
Yeah. Number
Okay.
2, where she usually stay when she goes to Homs. Where does she usually stay when she goes to Homs? Every
Yeah.
time she goes to Homs, we're asking about something repeated.
Okay, number 3, what a delicious smell. So now we are smelling something, so this is something happening at the moment. So what is your mother preparing for dinner? And here we should pay attention that when we have a verb that ends with E, we just add ing, we omit the letter E.
Before we wrap on, I just want to answer Haider about the writing. I told him that you're going to
And
answer
Remy,
you
I
again.
guess.
Remy,
Yeah,
the one who
But
asked
right,
about
yes.
the writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. First, from now till the end of the academic year, you need to practice writing sentences. You need to learn how to write sentences. When you can write a sentence, you can write 2. And if you can write 2, you can write 4. 10 sentences is a paragraph. The only thing you need to learn how to join them. It's okay to join between the sentences, putting a full stop between each 2 sentences, or you can use conjunctions like then, and, but, so. So my advice to you is learn how to write a sentence. Later on, you will be able to write a paragraph. At the end of this seminar, allow me to thank my colleagues in the studio, Ms. Ula Al-Moui, English Language Supervisor, Tartus Director, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
And Ms. Lamis Zainab, English Language Teacher, Tartus Director, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
And this is me, Abdul Majid Ogorli, Senior Supervisor, wishing you all the best. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.